They're moving ahead. What's the United States doing? Well, the last nuclear power plant that was licensed in the United States was the Wolf Creek Nuclear Power Plant in 1977. That last plant to go online was in Tennessee in 1996. The last licensed new nuclear reactor to go online was in 1996. We're way behind. And not only are we behind in getting these plants online, but we're also behind in that there's only one place on Earth where a lot of these parts can be manufactured to get these plants online, and that's in Japan. And so if the United States isn't out either building its own machinery that we have to run these nuclear power plants, we're in trouble, because the rest of the world is already in line to get these plants built. So we've got to get moving. We've got to get moving quickly. And that's what the people back home know, and that we talk and talk and talk about in Congress. Coal. The United States has about 24% of the world's coal. What are we doing with it? Well, on the majority side, they don't want to do anything with coal. In Ohio, I can tell you a lot about coal. We unfortunately have what you call high sulfur coal. So in a lot of places, it's very, very expensive to have to go out and burn that coal, because you have to put a lot of scrubbers on. Now, we have an individual in my district that's developed clean coal technology that you can burn this coal in a closed environment and produce methane. But again, are we doing that in this country? No, we're not doing it. You know, when you talk to people out there, you know, in the scientific world as to how much coal we actually have in this country, and, you know, some people say we might have 250 to 350 years of coal, and we're not doing anything with it. We've got to do something. The Chinese today are going to invest around $24 billion in clean coal technology, while the United States sits. We've got to be doing something. Hydroelectric, you know, we all know that the Chinese are building their hydroelectric dam right now to produce more power. We're not doing it either. We're not doing anything. Drilling. That's where the American people really get it. And they really got it when gasoline prices hit $3.50 a gallon, especially in my district. I think that was the break point for people in northwest Ohio. And they said, why aren't we doing something in this country? You know, we see these gas prices rising. I know when I got home at Memorial Day break, I should have filled up my gas in the car before I left that week, because it was around $3.83 when I left Bowling Green. I got home that following Friday. It was $4.19.9 a gallon. People say, what are we doing in Congress? Again, nothing. As the gentleman from Texas alluded to talking about ANWR. You know, you're talking about only drilling in around 2,000 acres, which is only 0.5% of an area. Nothing's being done. And, you know, it's estimated there's 9 to 16 billion barrels of recoverable oil there, and we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything offshore. You know, the Chinese, as alluded to a little earlier, in the other countries around the world, they're drilling offshore. They're drilling offshore the United States, but we're not doing anything. And it's time to act. Where I come from in northwest Ohio was at one time one of the largest oil fields in the United States in the 1800s. And they say there's probably as much oil out there today as there was then. But it's too costly to get it up. We ought to have credits out there for individuals and companies to go out there and get that oil and bring it up. We need to be doing that. We've got to get these prices down, because, again, our jobs and our livelihood and our country depend on action today. You know, if we got that oil here, the other problem we have is we haven't been building refineries in this country. You know, it's about 2.5 decades since a refinery was built in this country, and it's time we got going. We've got to get this thing done now, because we don't have time in the future to do it. Because as you look, as energy usage is going up across the world, the United States is getting farther and farther behind everyone else. And when they have energy and we don't, that's when we're going to be in big trouble. You know, as a history major in college, and reading your American history, of course, our great industrial age, we had all the natural resources. We had the coal to produce the power to make sure that we could make the product, which we were able to export around the world. Well, look at this chart, and you're going to see who's going to be able to do that in the future. We've got to be able to meet our needs. We've got to meet them today. Time's running out. You know, the other scary thing about this is we send more and more of our energy overseas. One of the things we have to think about is who's owning our debt. And right now, $2.43 trillion is owned by foreign countries. The Chinese own about $487 billion of our debt. We can't have that. Greatly appreciate the time the gentleman has allotted to me, and I yield back. Thank you.